Well, South Africans are celebrating Women's Day today, and one of them is Candice Chirwa, affectionately known as the Minister of Menstruation. Now, this, of course, for her tireless advocacy for menstrual health and her efforts to empower women in sports. She joins me now in studio for more on this. Thank you so much, Candice, for your time. Looking bright and pink today, of course, in celebration of Women's Month. And a happy Women's Day to you. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. Ministerial greetings to you and to the eNCA viewers.
Fantastic. I know you're always downstairs at our child, YFM.
Yes.
So now you're here with the parents
yes.
at eNCA. Thank you so much, Candice, for your time. I think, first and foremost, let's talk about your advocacy and the work that you do. Minister of Menstruation. I mean, that's a heavy title.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big one. And, what made you start this and what made you take on this title?
I think when I think about my first period, it was really just a terrifying time. I started very young. I was only 10, and it was just no one had the conversation with me about what to expect, and no one really informed me that my period was the last stage of puberty, which is inevitable, right? We celebrate our birthday every year, and so with that comes growing up. And it was only when I was 21 that I came across this information around period poverty and the impact it has on the girl child. And I felt something needed to change. It couldn't be that every time a girl has her first period, it's always met with some form of fear, or she feels like she's dying, or she has a disease. So I felt that something needed to change. And at the time I was doing my master's, and I think I was just really frustrated with academia, where you're always publishing papers, but you're not actually implementing solutions.
Yeah.
So that's where Curate came about, the nonprofit where we do menstrual education. And I was using my social media profile as a way to advocate for people to empower themselves around menstrual health. And that's where the term Minister of Menstruation came about.
Yeah.
It was actually my good friend that said, "You do more work than our ministers do, so I think you should be the Minister of Menstruation."